Hi, welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. Today we're talking about what to knit next. That can be a big question sometimes. If you've just finished a project, you want to know what you can do next. So let's find out today. Hi, welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. I'm here with Knitting Nada to help you learn to knit the easy way. We are going to talk about what you can knit next when you've finished a project and you're wondering where to go now. First of all, if you're new here, do hit the subscribe button. I'm here regularly with more knitting tips. I've been filming videos for 2 years now, so you can go and have a look at all the archive, find out all sorts of different things about knitting. Let's talk today about what to knit next. This is a confusing thing because you can find inspiration in so many ways. I'm going to give you 7 ideas today, and I just want you to pick 1 or 2, and if you pick 1 then you're really focused, you know where you're going, and if you pick a couple then you could have 2 items on your needles at the same time. Feel in the mood for one thing, you knit that. Feel on the mood for another thing, you knit that. I do that all the time. 2 things on the needles actually is a really helpful thing. So if you're ready and willing, let's get started. What can you knit next? So the first thing is to look at your wardrobe. What do you have already and what's missing? This is an ideal thing to do whether you want to knit next or whether you want to go shopping. You know, if you go out and you think, I can buy anything, then you possibly will, but there can be too much choice, so you don't make any choices. But if you go out with a list and you say, I need a white blouse and I'd really like a turquoise scarf to go with my coat, well, you may well find that if you go shopping. But it's the same thing when you want to knit. Go and find something that's missing and fill the space. It might be something that you maybe got too muddy and stretched and doesn't really work anymore because you wore it so much in the last few years. Well, you can replace that and it's something new. It might be something that you've not had at all. Maybe you've never had fingerless mittens, you'd really like to try them, but you've only ever had gloves or full mittens before. So just have a look, see what's missing in your wardrobe. That's your first inspiration. The second option is to think about the people around you. Are there any birthdays coming up? Are there celebrations? Is someone about to have a new baby? That could be an ideal opportunity to knit. If someone's got a birthday coming up, you go, what are they missing in their wardrobe? Or what have they asked me for in the past? There you go. You have your inspiration, you know you can knit something for them. So the third thing is, what time of year is it? Is it Christmas, so you need to knit some Christmas decorations? Is it the summer, so you actually fancy knitting a couple of baskets to use in the bathroom, some bunting for a party you're going to have in the middle of the summer, or even some yoga socks? You know, there are so many options. Think about the time of year and what's suitable to finish knitting and get really excited about using very soon. Where else can you find inspiration? Well, the fourth option is to look at some magazines. If you've got a pile of magazines already and there's all sorts of knitting patterns in them, just go through them and see if anything just sparks interest in you. You may not have wanted to knit it when the magazine first came out, but if you've got some there, you just have a look through, maybe then you will find something that you want to knit. The other option is to just go down to the local shop where they have the magazines stacked up, waiting for people to go through them and buy them. Just have a quick rummage, see what you can find. Do any of the patterns in those new magazines from this month? Again, that would be really relevant at this time of year. You could just get inspired by those magazines and know that you have a pattern that's very similar at home. You can go home and knit it up. Just looking for inspiration can really help you when you possibly have got all the supplies and all the patterns at home already. And this will be relevant actually when we get through and we start doing our declutter, our yarn declutter in May. So I'll put the link below. I do a declutter in May. I did it last year and I will be doing it again this year. So do join us for that. I'll put the link in the description below. So the fifth option is to go and look at some websites. Put some time aside to do this so you don't just keep surfing for the next 3 weeks. Say, I'm going to see if I can find inspiration maybe on Google, maybe on Ravelry, maybe on some of the yarn manufacturers' websites. Say, this is where I'm going to look. I'm going to set aside an hour or 2 hours, and that's that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let it hang around and just keep going back to it. If you set some time aside, you should be able to find some kind of inspiration there. And you could say, right, I'm buying that yarn, I'm getting that pattern, and I know I can knit it because I'm excited about it. Now, this sixth option is very easy. It is to say, what have I knitted before? What did I really like knitting before? I'm going to knit it again. I do this actually. I have 2 cowls. I got a free pattern from Ravelry and I said, I love the first one, I'm going to knit it up in a second colour. And sometimes I wear one or the other. Sometimes I wear them both if it's really cold. I'll have one hanging long and one wrapped up around my neck a couple of times. That means that I knew that when I picked up the yarn and the needles to knit the second one, it was an easy knit. I'd gone through the pattern before, I didn't have any qualms about whether or not I was going to manage it. It's just easy. I also have many pairs of fingerless mitts. I made the patterns, I know I can knit them, so I say, actually, I fancy a different colour this time, and I have 3 or 4 different fingerless mitts sitting by the back door when I need to go out in the winter, and they're there ready for me. So what have you knitted before? Which patterns have you already got and you've loved knitting before? Go and pick it up and knit another one. Now, number 7, you may love if you are that way inclined, and that is to go and join a knitting community. Even though I'm on video and I seem actually quite energetic when I'm standing here on video, I am an introvert. So going out to a knitting community and just introducing myself to a new knitting shop and all these people sitting there knitting is kind of put offish for me. I don't really want to do that. I think when I went to a knitting store a few years ago, I actually felt quite calm because a friend of mine from college was sitting there and we recognised each other. So we sat next to each other and kind of were chatting in between, and then everyone else was a bit of a blur to me. So if that's your thing, then go out to a yarn store, go out to your local community and see if there are any crafting workshops, crafting community get-togethers or knitting get-togethers nearby. You can set one up yourself if you fancy it. That's what I did. Again, I knew there was no way I was going to go out and find a knitting community that I would have to introduce myself to everybody. I knew that if I wanted to have a knitting community around me, then I would have to find only the friends that I knew who knitted and invite them to me. That's how I managed it. And there were about 10 of us eventually. When someone said, do you mind if I invite my friend? I was kind of, yeah, okay, that's fine, don't worry. And it took me a while to get to know the new ones and to feel calm about new people arriving at my home every evening on a Friday night once a month. But yeah, introvert me said no, but I knew I had to go with it, go with the flow. Otherwise, my other friends would say, I'm not coming anymore because my friends aren't allowed to come. So it took a while, but I was fine. If you don't want to do that, then join an online community. For example, I have my knitting membership. We are sitting there in the membership Facebook group, chatting occasionally. I put posts up every day so we can have a conversation, and we do live calls as well. I'm sitting there on video. You can text in the chat, and you can come on video, but if like me you kind of go no way, then you can just sit and text in the chat too. So do not worry. So that's also an option. It's a great way to find inspiration. Knitters around you will be knitting different things and you will go, yeah, oh, that's cool. Can I borrow the pattern when you've finished with it? I think I want to knit that too. And you will say, I never thought you could knit a basket for the bathroom before. Why didn't I realise that? I'm going to go and find another pattern on Ravelry or in my local shop or online. I will knit one as well, and you can have a set and I can have a set. It will mean that you will be inspired by others from patterns and from yarn as well. There you go. So yeah, this is just a few ways that you can find inspiration. Don't go and think, oh my goodness, I've got to use all of these ideas. How am I ever going to learn how to knit? Pick one. One of these inspirations will be relevant to you. Let's just go through them all over again. There's look at your wardrobe. There's think about dates coming up, birthdays, celebrations, maybe the birth of a new baby. There's the time of the year. Is it summer? Is it Christmas? What can be relevant to knit now? There's magazines. Go through what you've already got or go and have a look at the new ones in the shop. There's websites. Go and have a look at Google, go through Ravelry, go and look at the yarn manufacturers, or look on the online wool shops as well. They will make a point of showing you when there are new patterns up and available to buy. Sixth option is to go and find knitting patterns that you've knitted before, you've really loved, you've loved using what you've finished knitting, so go and knit a second or a third one. And the seventh one is to go and find a knitting community that can inspire you and you can inspire them as well. Okay, I hope this was helpful for you. Just some inspiration. What can you knit now? What can you knit next? Great. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Go and hit subscribe if you have. Give me a thumbs up. I will see you again next time. Bye for now. Happy knitting. Or lick, look. Or lick, or look, or what am I saying?